Hey everyone, this is Jennie Garcia from earthyscrap.blogspot.com and Earthy Scrap on Facebook, and today I'm going to share with you 3 ways to make a background using Tombow Dual Brush Pens. This week we're joining forces with Sweet Stamp Shop, so make sure you follow Tombow USA and Sweet Stamp Shop on social media so you can see what their design teams are making. These are the stamps I got from the Sweets. I'm also going to be using Tombow Dual Brush Pens, Coordinations cardstock, Tombow adhesives, and designer foils from Clear Snap. This is the first card we're going to be making. For this first card, we're going to be using the Mono removable adhesive from Tombow as a resist. And we're just going to make lines across the cardstock randomly. You can see all the lines here. Now I'm scribbling on my blending palette using the Tombow Dual Brush Pens. Make sure you pick colors from the same family so your project doesn't look muddy. Now I'm going to spray water in the blending palette using the Tombow Mister Spray. I'm going to put the color in the cardstock. And where the adhesive is, you won't get any color. And as you can see, you can use the palette a few more times. I'm gonna add a little more blue. You can blot out the excess of the color using a paper towel, and I'm also gonna dry it a little bit with a heat gun. Now it's dry, so I'm gonna rub the adhesive out with my finger, and it comes out super easily. You can also use these adhesives to make your own sticky notes, to hold stencils, many things you can do with this adhesive. And I'm gonna be making a card with this background, so I'm cutting the paper to size. I'm going to be using the Craft Night set to stamp some sequins onto my paper, and I'm going to color the sequins, exhale on them to make them a little bit more humid, and stamp with them. I'm placing the sentiment from the gnome stamp set that says Danke to make sure I have an idea of where I'm going to stamp it. And here I'm trying out the stamp. Thought I was going to do that at the end, but I didn't want to risk stamping on top of the foils, so I did that first. And here I'm using the Tombow mini power tape to make lines closer to the ones I made with the resist, and using the Clear Snap designer foils to put the shine on that. This adhesive, it's super strong and it's really tiny, so it's good for planners, and it's exclusive from Michaels if you want to get it. They come in a pack of 3. Now I'm gonna stamp a few more sequins again coloring on the sequins, exhaling on it, and stamping. I'm gonna be using this foil from Fancy Pens to mat my card. And to put the card together, I'm going to use again the Tombow mini power tape. Now I'm going to add some sequins, and normal people add sequins using the Tombow Mono Aqua Liquid Glue because it dries clear and it's the perfect glue for sequins like this one's from Taylor Expressions. But I hate waiting for things to dry, so I'm gonna show you like normal people do it. I'm gonna do one, and then I'm gonna glue the rest of the sequins using the Extreme Permanent Adhesive. Now when you use the Extreme Permanent Adhesive, you want to do a capital L motion and swipe to the side at the end, but here I'm gonna put it in the adhesive and peel it out, and it's gonna have adhesive, really strong adhesive, so I don't have to wait for it to dry or anything. And now it looks like a fun card, but I'm gonna add a little more. I just wanted to show you a little potty before. And I'm gonna add paw stitching using the fine tip of the Tombow Dual Brush Pen. And now I'm really done. I just have to keep adding stuff to my cards. Here's a close-up of how it looks at the end. On this second card, I'm gonna make another fun background using the Tombow Dual Brush Pens, and this time I'm gonna be using the e-brush from Craftwell. For dripping the color onto the paper in this type of background, I'm going to color at the corner of my blending palette so I can drip the color faster. And I'm gonna drip some drops on the cardstock, and I'm gonna move them around using the e-brush from Craftwell, and I'm gonna move my hand in really jerky moves, and the colors are gonna blend together. It's gonna look really cool. My favorite color to add is the yellow one, because one, it moves to the orange and red. It makes those sides lighter, and it looks really interesting when you're looking at it up close. And at the end, I'm gonna add a peachy color too. Now I'm going to use the Art Collection stamp set to add little pencils around the card. And I'm kind of doing a starburst effect with the pencils. They're not looking super perfect, but I don't really care. It's supposed to be fun and artsy, so. Now I'm using the Mixed Alpha stamp set to stamp the phrase, "Hey girl." This is how it looks for now. I'm gonna be matting this paper using the foil from Fancy Pants Designs, and I'm gonna put it in one of Coordination's card sets. And of course, I'm gonna be putting the whole thing together using Tombow mini power tape. And you must know by now that I like my sequins, so of course I have to add them here. I am going to color the little pencils just a little bit using the Tombow Dual Brush Pens. I'm going to also add a super light shade to the letters. You're not gonna notice that much. And I'm gonna do a little faux stitching using the Tombow Mono Twin permanent marker. I'm gonna be using the fine tip because it has two. And the card is done. It's really fun, a background that you can also do with a straw, but you gotta have a lot of long power to do that. Unless you know, if you pass out like me, I recommend the e-brush. Third background is gonna be kind of a throwback. I'm gonna be using the Spirograph and the Tombow fine tip from the Dual Brush Pen, and I have like a little cheat sheet of the designs on this particular Spirograph. I also have the original one, and they both work perfect with the fine tip of the Tombow Dual Brush Pens. I'm going to place the first one in the center, and it's going to be a lighter color because I want to stamp my sentiment on top of it. And since I'm going a little bit out of bounds with this design, I'm going to be using a paper so I don't write on my table. And you know the drill, you place it, you go around, super easy, super fun. You have to go a little bit slower when you get closer to the border because it's gonna get stuck outside, so you don't want to go too fast and ruin it. Now I'm just just gonna color inside some of the spaces using the Tombow Dual Brush Pens. And the cool thing about these is that you can also just use the blender and pull the color from the lines you already have inside. You can also scribble with the dual brush pen onto the blending palette and then pick up the color using the blender so the color starts to fade a little bit to be more lighter at the end. Now, using the Craft Night stamp set, I'm gonna stamp some of the sequins in the empty spaces in this background. And then I'm gonna measure where the stamp or sentiment stamp will be, so I can cut the paper so it fits exactly in the center. I always stamp first in the paper so I can test the stamp. And it stamps great. So now I'm gonna stamp in that lighter corner, lighter center actually. And I'm gonna add even more sequins. The sand eraser a little bit so I can erase any mistakes or smudges that I might have made when I was using the spirograph. Now I'm using more sequins of the real ones. Can you tell I like sequins? This card is done. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite, and make sure you check me out on social media at JennieGarciaN on Twitter, Periscope, Pinterest, and JennieGarciaN too on Instagram. Make sure you check out the Tombow USA blog at blog.tombowusa.com. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to share this video with your crafty friends. Bye!